Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Kakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and Rule. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noah's in his gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. Straight into the point. Title: The great multitude that John saw in Revelation 7:9 are Israelites. Okay, we're going to prove that through scriptures and through particular words, because oftentimes, mainly in these Christian theological school or I can't pronounce it today, I don't know. But these theologian pastors, these teachers or whatever you want to call them, and likes of vocab alone, James White the Edomite, and you mainstream Christian bigots, basically they want to engraft other nations into our salvation. And this is the reason why it's good. And this is the reason why the Apocrypha was taken out of the Bible, because for the simple fact, they sold you people on a universal doctrine. Okay, they sold you on universalism, which means that all nations can make it. And see, the reason why people adopt that mindset and that sentiment is because for the simple fact, the Apocrypha is absent out of the mainstream Bible. Okay, you have to buy the Apocrypha separate, or you have to get the King James 1611 Bible, which has the Apocrypha right directly in the middle of it. Even the Bible that the president swore on has the Apocrypha in it, which proves that it's actually canonical. And this is the reason why people, you're missing 500 years of pure history when you don't have the Apocrypha that link the gap between the Gentiles and the Israelite foreigners. This is why people don't understand Paul's voyage, because when you go straight from the book of Malachi to Matthews to Mark to Luke to John to Acts, you know what I'm saying? Then you go into the book of Acts, then you go into Romans, then Ephesians, and then when you go to like the different epistles, it's like a gap missing as to why Paul went to these Israelites, man. People like, oh, well, he's coming to save Africans, white people. No. You have to have the Apocrypha, and you have to really understand the history of what transpired during the time of the Maccabees. Mainly when Alexander's successor, which is by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes IV, when you understand that history and how he Hellenized the Jews, all right, and you understand that, then you will begin to see, oh, okay, this is why Paul went to Ephesus. This is why he went to Sicily. This is why he went to Rome. This is why he went here. Then you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense that Israelites was scattered to this part of the world. Same thing in Revelation 7 and 9. Okay, it's common sense, because people look at it because, oh, that's a great multitude of different kings, tongues, and nations. Okay, well, that means that this is white people, this is Africans, these are Arab people. And in fact, they will look like these people in some cases, in a lot of cases. But overall, you got to understand what their ethnicity goes back to, because DNA just proves over a course of time, and celebrities have proved this, like Blake Griffin, right? Blake Griffin, I like to use him as an example. Blake Griffin is a so-called black man. He's a Haitian, so-called Haitian, right? He's a black man, light-skinned dude with red hair, right? But he has an Edomite mother and he has a Haitian father. And according to the Bible, you are what your father is. So if Blake Griffin's father is a Haitian, Blake Griffin's a Haitian, which is a Levite, and Blake Griffin had a son with an Edomite woman, and his son have blonde hair, blue eyes, look like a little white boy. But guess what? Blake Griffin is a Levite, so therefore his son is a Levite, and this Levite looks like a fucking white boy. So that's what John saw. It's just that simple. That's how DNA and genetics work. Through mixing of seeds, through dealing with different ethnicities, eventually your child will come out looking like another nation over a course of a generation. Okay, like it took the Moors 1 generation for us to flip our bloodline in Europe. 1 generation, 2 generations at the most. During the time of the Moorish Empire, you know, we took over Gibraltar and Portugal and Spain, you know, North Africa, the Moors. Hey, we popped them Edomite women, and hey, we flipped Europe quick. You see, which Europe was inhabited by people of color anyway, because the Japhetic peoples or the original Europeans were people of color. They were so-called black people. Okay, and you Christians don't understand that because you don't know the history, and you don't look at the Bible as an actual historical reference, but instead it's just it's a plagiarized story that sounds good, that appeases to your punk ass emotions. All right, So anyway, let's get right into the scriptures. Okay, it sells itself. This is Revelation 7, and I'm gonna start at verses 4. It says, and I heard how many were marked with the seal of God. 144,000 were sealed from all the tribes of Israel. Okay, so let's stop here. It clearly tells us Israel, but a dummy would say, oh, that was spiritual Israel. There's no such thing as spiritual Israel, man. Okay, you either Israelite by blood or you're not. Okay, and contrary to popular opinion, the Israelites still exist today. They're alive, and I won't say very well, but we are very much alive. Okay, because our nation is through, man. You know, but it says from Judah 12,000, from Reuben 12,000, from Gad 12,000. Now, if you understand the history of the 12 tribes, this is all the sons of Jacob. Okay, you got Yehoiada, then you got Rabbban, you got Gad, you got Ashar, you got Naphtaliah, Manasseh, Shemayim, not Shemayim, what is it? Shemaiah one. You got Loya, you got Yashakar, you got Zabawalan, you got Yavasap, and you got Benjamin, which is all the tribes in Hebrew. Okay, and it says here from Reuben 12,000, from Gad 12,000, from Asher 12,000, Naphtali 12,000, Manasseh 12,000, Simeon 12,000, Levi 12,000, Issachar 12,000, Zebulun 12,000, Joseph 12,000, Benjamin 12,000. Okay, and it goes down. Praise from the great crowd. And it says, and after this, I saw a vast crowd. Now, this is the 1/3 multitude, because here we just read off the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe, which is the top reigning government of Yahweh Shai under King David, which King David falls within this 12,000 of Judah, because he's of the 144. Okay, he's at the top of the 144. He's the top dude under Yahweh Shai. Period. You got the Most High Yahweh. You got Yahweh Shai, then King David is third in command under the Most High, under Yahweh Shai Salakia. Isn't that something? He's sitting right under Yahweh Shai. So King David off the rip is going to be the 144. He's going to be the number one, because Yahweh Shai is above the 144. Yahweh Shai is an entity within himself. Okay, but King David is going to be, he's the third in command, but he's the top of the 144. He's like the creme de la creme. All right, if that make any sense. But it says, and after I saw this vast crowd, too great to count, meaning there was an innumerable multitude. He couldn't count them, because there's going to be a lot of Israelites that's going to be saved. It says from every nation and tribe and people and language. Now, when people see this, see, we told you that salvation is open to everybody. But see, no, you don't understand that, because Israel was dispersed. Okay, standing in front of the throne before the Lamb, and they were clothed in white robes and held palms and branches in their hands. Now, the only people that can be clothed in white robes and purify are Israelites, okay, and we can prove that. But let's go here to the word nation in the Greek, which should be the Greek word ethnos. All right, so nation, ethnos, right? Now, it says a multitude, whether men or beasts, associated or living together. Now, when you think of particular multitudes of race, mainly you got the Jake race here, then you may have the Cubans here, you got the Mexicans there, the Puerto Ricans there. Like in Harlem, it's all segregated like that. You got Judah here, even though we're all in the same vicinity. You got Judah on one block, you got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi mixed and mingled. Then you got Simeon, then you got Manasseh, then you got Asher probably like on the next block, but we're all mingled among each other. The tribes have always been in close proximity. And it says, or associated or living together. And if you associated with the people, it's because you're of their particular gensis. It says a company, troop, sworn, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or gensis, meaning of the same tribes or the same nation. It says a tribe, a nation, a people, a group. Okay. In the Old Testament, it says foreign nations not worshiping the true power, pagans, Gentiles, which those Gentiles are Israelites. Paul uses the term for Gentile Christians, okay? But a tribe, a nation, a people, a group. And the 12 tribes of Israel is one particular nation that's separated into 12 separate nations, because each tribe consists of its own particular nation within one nation, if that make any sense. Okay, so we got the word ethnos, okay? Associated, living together, a company, swarm, a troop, a multitude of individuals of same nature against us, the human family, a tribe, nation, people, a group. Okay, so that's the understanding of that, if it makes any sense. Now, sheep, I know Yahweh Shai said he had other sheep that is not of this fold. John 10 and 16. Matter of fact, it's one. Yep, this is the book of John 10, and I'm gonna start at verses 16. It says, "And I have sheep." It says, "And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they should hear my voice, and there should be one fold and one shepherd," right? Because he's gonna bring all the tribes together. And when you go into Ezekiel 37, that's the fulfillment of all the tribes coming back together, which is now. This is why you see out of the camps, you see the Latin brothers, you see the Native American brothers, man. You see the Jake-looking brothers. You see us all together in one conglomerate coming together, man, because you got to understand that Yahweh Shai came to Gad on his side too, man. Okay, I believe they call him the Yahweh or Yehovah, you know, and then I believe like Issachar with Aztecs, they called him Quetzalcoatl, okay, which is basically Yahweh Shai, or what they would consider, was it like the feathered serpent and something like that? Because a serpent does not always mean wicked. A serpent could mean cunning and sly and of wisdom, you know. But they called him Quetzalcoatl too, so it was known that Yahweh Shai came to the tribes over here as well, you know. But overall, now the tribes are all coming back together under one consent under Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, dispersed Gentiles. Yep, bingo. John 7, and I'm going to start at verses 34. It says, "And ye shall seek me, and ye shall not find me. And where I am, thither ye cannot come. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither would he go, that we should not find him?" It says, would he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So right there was common knowledge that Israelites knew that the other tribes was dispersed among the Gentiles. Because if that was not the case, he wouldn't have read it that way. It just would have said, will he go among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? But it says that dispersed among the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles, meaning that those Israelites that was dispersed were considered Gentiles. Okay, now let's look up the word dispersed and get some understanding on that, which goes into diaspora. Okay, it says here, a scattering, a dispersion. The Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. I mean, that go to cut right there. It says, of the Christians scattered abroad, the Gentiles. Christians and Israelites are interchangeable. Okay, Christians is just a word they use for the followers of Yahweh Shai, but the Mashiachim, you know, that's another way of saying the Jews or the Israelites. Okay, but it says of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Bingo. So right here proves that those Gentiles was dispersed Israelites. Okay, let's read it again. It says here, then said the Jews among themselves, whither would he go that we should not find him? Would he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Because in their mindset, they was like, the Gentiles are through. Them niggas are done. They're not coming back to this. He's only dealing with the circumcision. That's what they did understand. You know, that's why he was looking like, wait a minute, you finna go and teach them niggas? Like, why? They don't even know who they are. What's the point of waking them up? But, hey, be honest with you, we were those dispersed Gentiles. That was us. And look at us now. We come back to our heritage. You see? So it's simple. It's not a hard concept to understand. And this is how the Holy Spirit deals, man. Okay? Tribes, Jacob. Oops. Tribes. Looking at Psalms. I found there was a couple of precepts in Psalms I wanted to pull out. Was it Psalms 122? Psalms 122 and Psalms 122, and I'm gonna start at verses 1. It says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. And what's the house of the Lord? Okay, the Israelites. It says, our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is talking about a people. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together. And that's us coming back together. Though it's going to be a physical city, right now, Jerusalem is trodden down by the Gentiles, man. So right now, we are that city. Okay, that's why it says, I saw Jerusalem coming down from heaven as a bride adorned for my husband. Okay, that's talking about the elect coming back with that glory. It says, but whether the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, unto the testimony of Israel, to give thanks unto the name of Yahweh. For there are set thrones of judgment in the throne of the house of David. But pray for the peace of Jerusalem, that they may prosper that love thee, and peace be within thy walls, and prosperity with thy palaces. But for my brethren and companions' sakes, I will now say peace be. It says peace be within thee, because of the house of the Lord our power. I will seek thy good. But it just says here that the Lord house will basically be thrones of judgment. Okay, so it's judgment. It's only Israelites that's gonna get the top seat in the kingdom of salvation. Now, you other nations will be there, but you would be there in the form of slaves, man, in servitude. Okay, we never said that you other nations wouldn't be there. Even Esau is gonna be there, but after 1,000 years, his ass is gonna be. He's gonna be through. You're gonna destroy him. Now, what happens to him after that? Because we know spirits can't necessarily die, can't die. We don't know if the Most High is gonna destroy their spirit, or we don't know how the Most High is gonna regenerate this devil. But either way it goes, the physical nation of Esau is gonna be totally eradicated, and deservingly so. Okay, these people have been around for quite some time, and they need to go. Okay, and this is an example of an Israelite foreigner, my man John Travolta. Okay, this is a Jake right here. Though he looks like a white boy, I believe he's maybe Sicilian or something like that. But John Travolta is definitely an Israelite. Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio, another Jake. This dude is definitely a damn Jake, man. Leonardo DiCaprio. Can't tell me he ain't a Jake. Let's look up another person. Kathy Bates. Me personally, I think Kathy Bates is a nigga woman. I mean, people may fail to exist, but I feel like, because she's a great actor, man. I mean, you got some Edomites that can act, because she played the shit out this role in Misery, Annie Wilkes. But I think Kathy Bates, I think she may be like a Galite or some shit. She just got a Galite spirit on her, but she definitely played a nigga woman, but she played the role out of that motherfucking, out of this role, man. You know, that dude, James Caan, he was known as Paul Sheldon. James Caan, he played in, I think it was called, it was some movie with this dude, Dennis Hopper, in it. No, it was some type of Italian movie he played in, you know. So, yeah, you got a lot of Edomite-looking Jakes out there. Let's look at another one. Cameron Diaz. She look like a white girl, but she's an Israelite. You know, people like, that ain't no Israelite. You got a nigga that's, oh, she ain't no Israelite, brother. She too pasty. See, a person that think like that, a simple-minded, a simpleton that don't understand physiology and DNA, they don't understand how genetics work. Okay, like if I had a baby by a white woman, my baby would come out clear, man, because I'm pretty light myself, all right? And if I had a baby with a white Edomite woman, my baby would be fucking, like, literally look like a white boy. And let his son have another son or a daughter by another Edomite, my baby will come out with blonde hair, blue eyes, man. And this is just 2 generations, you know? So it's not a hard concept to understand. But see, these guys, they get all jacked up off the phenotype and off skin color when it's not about color. You know, because you got some niggas that ain't even Israelites. You got T and Tamara. They're not Israelites. They're tares. But they look like Israelites. It was one more person I had in mind. Let's look at, this dude, Robert De Niro. And he loved black women. Can't say Robert De Niro ain't no Jake, man. This dude is a straight Israelite. Joe Pesci, which I think he's Sicilian. Everybody knows he's a Jake. But most Sicilians are Jakes, man. You know? So, yeah, one more precept and I end it. Isaiah 11:11, and it reads here. It says, and in that day there should be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Gentiles are the Israelites. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. The remnant, okay, which should be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. This is that great multitude that he saw. This is why they appeared to be not known, because they came looking like other nations, but they were Israelites. We just proved that. It says, and he should set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. Why were they called outcasts? Because for one thing, they was without the commonwealth of Yahushua. They was without the common understanding of who they were. Okay, and the fact that they look like other nations, so they would be considered outcasts, man. Okay, because even among the Elamite community, the Israelites among Elam, they live separate from particular coolies, man. You know what I'm saying? They live separate. Like the Chinese of Jake, they live separate from a typical Moabite. There's two difference of spirits, and they know that. They're like, man, these people ain't us. They look like us. This is why they never really accepted Bruce Lee. Like when you look at Bruce Lee, don't know Chinaman really hold Bruce Lee on a high regard for real. Even though he's worshipped like a god in Hong Kong and shit because they love him. But a lot of them Jakes in the Hong, they're Jakes. But most people in the States that like Bruce Lee was fucking Jake, man. Like today, Bruce Lee is my favorite martial artist. Like he inspired me to get into the martial arts because Bruce Lee had that influence on Jake. He was like the Michael Jackson of the martial arts community, man. You know? But it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations and assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, man. Okay, so there you go. It says the four corners of the earth, Judah and Israel, meaning that all 12 tribes are going to come out looking like different nations. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Lord, swear you were edified until the next.